they drifting on the beat.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of TalkNSupes. I'm Ed from Ways of the Sith, and with me today,
I'm Ande Got You. What's going on, everybody?
What's going on? We're back for another episode. Thank you to everybody who tuned in last week. It seems that everyone was really hyped about the mall coverage, which we were as well, and we were so happy to talk about it. We do have a ton
Indeed.
more mall stuff to talk about in today's episode. We got the wrap up of Daredevil, so I know we have a lot to talk about there. That seems to be the thing that's like splitting our fan base.
A lot of people were asking me about the Daredevil. They want to hear the finale from us, basically.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've seen some of the comments and some of the feedback regarding my criticism of Daredevil in this show. So definitely we'll talk about it with the finale. We have the boys. We have a bunch of news stories that are happening, including something that just broke right before we started recording. So we'll definitely tackle that and talk about it. But yeah, might as well get right into it with that Daredevil finale. So last week we were unsure.
Real quick before you go into that, I just want to make sure, because we have so much in stores coming up right now, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and just share with all your friends the podcast and everything that we do here. It's this month and going forward, it's just a full steam right ahead. So you don't want to miss what we got to say and all that good stuff. So please, we will greatly appreciate it if you guys just hit the button down there and do your due diligence.
Yeah, and leave us a review on iTunes and Spotify too, because those are helping. We see them. We love the feedback that we've been getting on the show, so it's really cool to see that like we've really been growing on the podcast platforms a lot more than our YouTube. We're trying to grow our YouTube. We will probably have the capability at some point soon to put the videos up on Apple Podcasts too, so you'll have the capability of watching the video through Apple. Spotify, we still haven't figured out how to do it yet, but we're getting there. So just stay tuned. But like I said, the Daredevil season finale happened last week on the show. You and me were trying to figure out when the actual finale of the show was, and neither of us could figure it out.
I didn't know. I knew there wasn't going to be another one, because I couldn't tell if it was this last one that we got was going to be the last one, or if it was this week. But we figured that out.
Yeah, I like I said, originally when I saw the schedule, I saw it laid out where like Daredevil was wrapping up, Punisher would be the following week, and then Spider-Man was supposed to be the following week. So I don't know if like it was just presented that way and I viewed it wrong, or if like that was the original plan and then somehow things got moved around. But we do have like some teases for the new Punisher one shot. They did announce a new Marvel Legends figure for his look in that movie, which is kind of crazy because we just got a Marvel Legends figure of like him from Daredevil. So it's not different. It's got a beard. It's got like a bulletproof vest rather than like his normal look. So it is slightly different, but it is odd that like coincidentally right before their brand new day they're going to put another one out. But the Daredevil finale, I still didn't care about this show even when it was all said and done. Like so the whole thing, Fisk kills a shit ton of people in the fucking city hall, like a shit ton of people.
They really showed his power in this, like that was replicant to what the comics were, and it was like insane how much he was going in on that.
Like he's literally like crazy. Body slamming and choke slamming and like shattering people's skulls and spines. So like there's a wake of bodies in City Hall there. No one put two and two together that like here's him covered in blood. And then Matt's just like, just go away, and I'll go to jail, and we'll end it. That's how they resolve this whole fucking show. All this season, this whole fucking build up to everything. And Matt's basically like, you go away, and I'll go to prison, and this is how it'll end. And it's just like, this is not how it's going to end. You know this is not how it's going to end. So it just kind of...
That's the whole thing, though. Like, it leaves so much for season 3 to like have to
Does it?
develop and like figure out and see what happens next.
Does it though? Like what for you out of this ending and finale like makes you think about season 3 and like be hyped about it or like excited about? Like what is it for you that like you're gonna, oh my god, they're gonna do this or they're gonna do that?
There's still the what if of the things of like, okay, are we what is the real tie-in with the whole Spider-Man thing? So that's that.
Well, we're probably gonna
Tomorrow
see that.
I'm
We kind
hoping.
of assume that.
I know. That's what I mean. So like, and then tomorrow we get the Punisher one shot. So maybe there will be some connection there. So then there's that. But as of right now, I'm thinking about like how
Spider-Man.
will he, if he, no, I'm saying like just Punisher in general. How will he tie in with Daredevil again?
Well,
And
from what we talked about
there?
on the show, this Punisher one shot apparently is going to be like its own thing. It's not necessarily him connected to Daredevil or anything else. I don't know,
but I mean, like it is though, because where we left him off with him was in Daredevil.
Yeah, but
so it's
but
like
we learned from Karen that he left the city. So like that's what I'm saying. Like this seems like it's its own separate thing. It could very well be him coming back while this martial law is going on and the vigilante task force and him hunting them down.
New York.
Well, he's gonna come back to New York come Spider-Man. But that's what I'm saying. I kind of feel like this Punisher one shot is just the bridging the gap between that. We're gonna see some mission that he does and whatever he's doing as to why he wasn't in Daredevil this season, and then all of a sudden he's gonna show up in Spider-Man. And like I said, they could very easily tie it in with him taking down the rest of like the anti-vigilante task force in the city, martial law breaking out, and all of that. They very well could go that route. But again, like, is that hooking me for next season of Daredevil when this season like did nothing?
But what is like and what we've been talking about throughout this whole season is Daredevil. I mean, Bullseye's character.
Well, and now he's working for Val.
Yeah. Well, that's what it seems like he is. Yeah.
Well, he did. He's on the flight with Matthew Lillard. And by the way, Matthew Lillard, phenomenal performance, totally wasted in this show. He every time he was on screen, every time he was involved in everything, I was glued to the screen. I wanted to see like what his character was going to do, what the tie-in was going to be between him and Val, and like the payoff for his character even was nothing. It's literally him on a him basically telling Luke Cage that like, I don't need you anymore. I got somebody else, and it's fucking Bullseye. And it's like,
I did think he was gonna bring more to the show, for sure, because
I thought so too.
He was always so like laid back and so casual, and I felt like there were parts for him maybe to do, but they probably cut it out for whatever reason. But yeah, you're right on that part. I did want to see more from him, like, because if he's so special and is really tying the MCU with the television universe, like, you should have revealed a little bit more, or like, I don't know, give us a story of why you're so important. Because when that episode when fucking Buck was about it, well, Buck basically like told him to like back off, and his whole character and like his respect and power, whatever it was that he had from the beginning, this completely died after that.
Yeah.
So
and that's what I was saying about like his whole performance being wasted, because once they did that, they handicapped the character. And then even Buck in this episode, he got shot, and we kind of dealt with the crazy therapist basically just like tending to his wounds the whole entire time. And then we finally got the payoff with her putting on the fucking mask at the end. So like we knew she was going crazy.
So funny though, I can't even lie.
But like we knew she was going crazy this whole season, and that like eventually this was going to be the payoff of it, hopefully. And it was, thankfully we at least got that. That was the only satisfying thing to me, like out of this whole finale. Otherwise, like I said at the beginning, the whole interaction with Matt and like Kingpin, and like him being on his knees, and like Matt just begging him like, just stop fighting, like that's how you wrap this all up. And I understand like what they were trying to do. They were trying to show Matt not resolving to the violence, but like it still didn't have a payoff for me. It just kind of felt like,
and if you think about their relationship, like going forward, like from like this whole last seasons and until now, like they've they fought each other through not knowing their identities and then actually knowing their
Now
identities.
knowing who
So
they
when
are,
he's
yeah.
talking, yeah. So now him talking to him and telling him like it kind of like it's like they stopped playing dress up for a moment and they were like
Yeah.
just being like real with each other, and he was just like this isn't about me being Daredevil. This you need to like take your ego and just throw it out the window. Just like give up. We're both going to fucking jail, or we're both gonna disappear, and that's
And
it.
this is how it's gonna,
Although
yeah, this is how it's gonna
yeah.
end.
And it is crazy, like you said, how he went and he fucking killed all those people in City Hall,
And
whatever.
nobody's gonna do
But
anything about it. They're just
but
like, all right, go ahead, get out of here.
no, but that's government though, and
No,
that's
it's
like how
not.
it should
No, no,
be.
no, no, no,
It,
no,
it,
no,
it,
no,
it,
no. The
like
acting, no.
they need him for whatever reason because of how his strong he is and
The
his just like
acting
his
governor, the
respect.
acting mayor of New York City killed like 12 citizens in the courthouse, like the courthouse. It's
And New
all
York is gonna
documented.
hate him for that.
It's
No, New
all
York's
on
definitely hating him
camera,
for that.
like literally. Like that's my whole thing. It's just like you couldn't find another way to do this. Like I understand you wanted to show him have his strength and have that like powerful moment, but in doing so, you made it where it's just like, oh, okay, the acting mayor just killed a bunch of people in City Hall and is just gonna
It's
walk
crazy,
away,
yeah.
like no problem. Like, and like, all right, so this is where like I have the issue with the show. Okay, you're gonna do this with Kingpin, right? I am hoping, like, I hope that Tombstone being introduced in Spider-Man is Tombstone's going to carry over into Daredevil season 3, because if we get something along those lines, now I'm intrigued for season 3. If we have Tombstone involved and we have Tombstone versus Kingpin, and we can play up, you know, the mob war, the gang war, essentially between the two of
Yeah.
them for the city. I'm cool with that, especially if you're gonna have Luke Cage and Jess Jones and Iron Fist.
Yeah, that
Spoil
would all go, especially if you're putting them into it. Yeah.
spoiler for those who do not want to know, just fast forward 15 seconds. But there was a video of Danny Rand powering up his Iron Fist that was
Yeah.
leaked the other day, so we have seen him on set. Obviously, at the end of this show, we find out that Luke's no longer working for Matthew Lillard. Him and Jess are back together, raising, with their daughter, and that's the setup for them for next season. We know Luke has the
Right.
club in Harlem and like took over the club at the end of his show. So I'm
Mhm.
assuming we could get the play like you were alluding to of maybe the Luke Cage running for mayor storyline, which like I
Yeah.
like from the comics. I don't know if that's what they're going to do with the show. Obviously, that's always a possibility. But it seems like the way we left Daredevil and the way we finished this season is New York City is under total duress and martial law. The anti-vigilante task force is unhinged and out there just, basically killing innocent people and doing whatever they want to do. And now the people are fighting back against them. So it's basically just all out chaos in New York City. And again, that could very well play into Punisher One Shot. That could very well play into Spider-Man Brand New Day and like the state of the city and where Peter's at dealing with all of this stuff. Like I could very easily
and that
see
would
those
make
dots
sense.
being connected.
Yeah, it would make sense why they have the what's the company from Wonder Man that's in Spider-Man too.
Roxon?
The No, not Roxon. It's like the people who clean up, who come after you when
Damage
you have
control.
like a lot of stuff
Damage
going on.
control.
Damage
Yeah,
control, yes. Damage control. That would make so like damage control is in New York now, probably in like the numbers as much as freaking they had the task force out there for the vigilantes, and
Yeah.
they're probably just cleaning up the town and stuff like that. But Spider-Man got into some shit, well, and he's versing them as well. So yeah.
Well, and yeah, that's going to be the interesting point to see is like, all right, how do they play in with Peter and the whole, and like, we had reported on the rumors that Punisher is basically protecting Sadie Sink's character. Like he finds her and is the one like basically protecting her. So
yeah.
This could all have ramifications, if she does end up being Jean Grey, like we've pretty much already confirmed, I guess, like for the most part that she is going to be Jean or some sort of iteration of Jean. So yeah, I just, for me, this show did nothing to like like this ending and the way this all wrapped didn't put the bow on it to be like, oh my God, I can't wait till Spider-Man. Now I'm waiting for Spider-Man and like, man, I hope they don't fuck up and Daredevil's actually in the show. I mean, in the movie. Because if we go to the prison and we don't see Daredevil, I'll be disappointed as like a moviegoer of like, you guys set this all up and teed it all up perfectly and then still couldn't execute it. That would bother me.
And on top of that, everybody has been screaming to the rooftops about how they want to know if he's in it, and every time they ask Charlie Cox, he says, "I'm not in Spider-Man."
No. And like I understand that he's doing the whole PR thing, but like we have the hand being involved in Spider-Man. We know for a fact the hand is in this movie, so like it doesn't make sense any other way. Like if he's not involved and the hand's involved in a Spider-Man movie, what are we doing? Because that will bother me. Like that will make me a lot less enthusiastic about the movie if we know for a fact that there is no Matt Murdock cameo in this, that there's no, because now Peter would know. Peter would be like, oh shit, my blind lawyer is fucking Daredevil. And like, like everybody in the whole city now knows Matt is Daredevil, which is, I love that in the comics. Like when that arc happens in the comics and Matt basically grows out the beard and like does his prison stint and does all that. Like I love that version of Matt because it does. It's a little backtrack version compared to what we're seeing in the show already. But like that's the version of Matt that ends up leading the hand and ends up, becoming like the leader for them. So I don't know where they're going to go with this. I don't know what the payoff's going to be. But if we go into Daredevil season 3 and I have to sit through Matt being in prison for 3/4 of the season again, it's a repeat of what we already saw on the Netflix show. Like we've already had that. It's already happened. Don't keep running back things that you've already done on the Netflix show. Like, and that's where I'm at.
From what I've heard, from what he says about season 3, and in that, and what he shared is that's just like, what do you do when the identity is out there now, and how are the different ramifications in his life? How does that affect him? So, if you think about that, you can kind of get excited for like the things that can happen for him in season 3, and going forward.
Yeah, but that's I guess what I'm saying is like all right, cool. If we get like 2 episodes of Matt being in prison and we take a time jump or things skip around or we just start the season off with Matt coming out of prison, I'd much rather that than waste a whole season of like, what is Matt up to in prison? How many times is he getting jumped by all these people that he put in prison? Like we saw all of that already in the Netflix series. Like that was one of the whole seasons that they did. So I do not want to see that again. I would hopefully they just push past that. We get our resolution in the Spider-Man movie. We can go to season 3 and be excited. Just the way they're setting this up so far and the way this show delivered for this season has me very apprehensive about like what's to come and what's next.
Because it's a big limbo. But before we go anywhere else, I also wanted to mention the fact of like I really like that we finally got to see the White Tiger actually do White Tiger shit in the show.
Did we?
It was really quick. It was a really quick moment, but I really wish they would have did more of that during like that first time when we saw her do like the hostage break or whatever, because that would have been the perfect time to do it.
Introduced her, set up the whole story arc. They teed up a whole story arc for her, and then she had no bearing on this entire season. And like, other than that breakout scene that they were in, where she slashes the tire so they can get away, that was pretty much the only use for White Tiger in this show. And to me, that was like a disservice of like, why would you even waste the time of setting up this character only to not have her like actually be one of the heroes? And like, so White Tiger is part of the Champions lineup. Like in theory, she should be part of my favorite character, Kamala Khan's Avengers team. But and I said that sarcastically for new listeners. but that's where that's like her place if that's where
Yeah,
they're
but
going with it.
she's finally. I just like, to me, it's more of so like the representation that they showed. Like, okay, I love the fact that they represented her on who she is. She is a
Mhm.
Latino character in the MCU
And it's
universe, and
good
then
to
they
get a
showed, and they
Latino superhero.
yeah, and then they showed a lot of like the similarities of what she's going through, and things of that nature. So that's more so of why I love that they introduced her into this,
Hmm.
and it was you're right. They could have did more with her as far as her character does, and just giving her more screen time. But she's in the universe now, so there's plenty of things you can do with her.
That's
I
true.
really hope they do the stuff with like they do in the Spider-Man show where it's her and Nova and Spider-Man.
They
That would
still got
be
to
dope to
introduce
see.
Nova. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
like
yeah, this
I don't want
she
little
can do
kid Nova.
whatever.
I don't want little kid
You want
Nova.
grown in, but yeah.
I want Richard Rider. Yeah.
This dude, uh, Brandon says he always wants to be Nova. I don't know about that though.
Yeah. I know. I know the rumor from that like has been going around for a while was that they were eyeing Glenn Powell to play Richard Rider, like for Nova. But
I
he's
don't know
always
why they never went with that kid from Iron Man. That would have been
yeah.
perfect.
Like if they were gonna do Sam and they were gonna do the
Hmm.
younger Nova, like that would be
Hmm.
a cool way to do it. I would be here for that, like bringing Ty, whatever his name is, back to play the role. Like that would be a cool
Hmm.
way to like tie things
Like
in.
how
Of
you
like,
add him? How you add him at the funeral and
yeah, he
like,
is in Endgame.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, then game, yeah.
yeah, and then never go back
So
to it. And I think
and then
like
never go back to it. Like
and
it just
and then,
made like it was perfect.
and then I think when we do get our footage that's added back into Endgame, I'm assuming we're going to get the scene with Tony's daughter that was cut out from the original movie. I'm assuming that'll be edited back into the movie. Um,
Mhm.
and maybe there's more of an interaction with him that takes place at the funeral. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe there's some stuff with him that was cut out too.
On the Daredevil's tip though again, I did see that Michael, I forget his last name, but the guy who plays Daniel in the show, he he
Gandolfini.
the reason why he was only killed like week or two before that episode was even aired. So
So
if there's somebody
that
on
was an
here
edit.
from Daredevil that's listening, uh thanks for like putting the risk in this, but that was crazy because they also said
So
that this
they shot that while they were shooting season 3 and then edited that into season 2. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, they had that scene during season 3, and then they had the original scene was he shows up at that big part where they're in the city hall where all the people are fighting for Daredevil and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they said in a scene, in one of those scenes, he is like on he's on the stairs by where Kingpin was at,
Okay.
and they had to edit him out because he was there.
In the original
So
shot,
in the
so
original
basic
shots, yeah.
basically, I
Hmm.
guess in the original version, he was going to be one of the people that stood up against Kingpin at the in the
Yeah,
finale, and then they went and
right.
changed it and ended up killing him off. That's
And killing
interesting
him instead.
because
Hmm.
so like I have heard both sides of it. I've heard people that weren't fans of his performance and didn't really care for him. Um, I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum. I think
He was
he's
amazing.
perfect for these types of roles, just like his father was. Like if we're
Hmm.
doing a cop show, if you're doing a mob show, if you're doing under
A
crime,
mob show is
something along
specifically
those
in New
lines,
York type of show.
like he's your guy. And I just feel
Hmm.
like it was more so the writing of his character this season, maybe for some of the performance stuff, but I thought he was, for me, the standout of this season was him and Bullseye. They're the two characters that like every time they were on
Hmm.
screen was more invested in like what was going to go on and how their storyline was actually going to resolve or play out.
The director also said that they asked him like, "What are some of your dream things to do with these characters?" And one of the things he says was, getting either a movie or just a scene of Daredevil versus Punisher. So the
Yeah,
fact that he already said that makes me think of like what can be happening in this one shot. So it's just interesting to see. So going forward,
especially because now they built in the whole thing with Karen
hmm
kind of relating more to what Frank was doing, and more so agreeing with his way of doing things than Matt's. So that could be a point of contention for both of them on both
right.
sides, like of him
hmm
trying to get Matt to listen to him, and Matt trying to get Frank to stop killing people. Like I could very easily see that, and especially like with Karen
Yeah,
being
that
in the
would be a
middle,
good contrast going back and forth too with
that's
those two
definitely
characters.
that's definitely an option for like how they could play that off. I do kind of feel like though, if we're gonna see them, I don't know if we're gonna see Frank and Matt interact in the Punisher one shot. I could see it
hmm
in Spider-Man. I could very easily see like they're going to break Matt out of prison, or
hmm
whatever's going on in the prison, and Matt's a part of it because he's in there with them. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. But season
It
two
is.
did nothing for me to make me more excited about the MCU, and I was hoping that it was gonna do something to grab me or like make me more invested in like what's coming. And
Yeah.
like I've said on this show, I'm excited about Spider-Man because it's a Spider-Man movie, but otherwise, I don't know what they're doing yet. I haven't. I'm not one of the people that saw the Doomsday script and know how everything's going to play out. There's a bunch of people out
Right.
there that
Right. Right.
have. Um, a couple of the
Yeah.
shows
So
I
for
watched, they've talked about like what happens in Doomsday, and they know how it's all going to play out and like where this is leading.
mhm.
So far, I don't have a clear path based off the things that they're doing now currently as to like what can I speculate, what do I think is going to happen, because so
hmm
far in all of these things they haven't had the payoff. We get like the first couple of episodes, I've talked about it on this show, like the first couple episodes are great, and then we get a fall off for like the rest of the weeks, and then season finale comes and we have to tie everything up in a nice little bow in an hour episode or a 40-minute episode. And it's a hard method to do stuff like that. Like you see the
hmm
difference between a show like Maul, where every week we got a significant payoff when the show was over. We were satisfied as viewers, like this happened, this happened, this happened. Now we're on to the next part of the story. And there was no like mystery box stuff. There was no guessing as to like what's going to happen next because we were getting and ultimately a resolution every time we watched the show. You know what I mean?
But the thing with Star Wars though is that like it's not so like sparse as far as with directors and producers and things of that nature. As far as like how the Marvel universe is, where you have a different person doing this show and a different person that
Yeah.
show. For the most part, we know like Filoni is the guy for this and for the Clone Wars
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything else. So like it's a lot more easier to put like to command how you want these things to do because it's just like almost it's not a one-man army but it is a one-man
Too
army.
many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah,
It's just too many
exactly,
cooks in the kitchen
exactly.
when it's all said and
hmm
done. Like you have Kevin Feige who's overseeing all of this, but he's wrapped up in Doomsday and what's going on in Doomsday. So Brad Winterbaum is the guy helming all of the television stuff, and it's so far it's I guess I can go out on a limb and say so far like none of their television stuff has really landed with anybody. You have like your moments of shows like being decent or like taking off, but so far out of like the Marvel television, none of this stuff has really mattered in the big scheme of things. And like that's the
uh
detriment.
I wouldn't say that just yet because
Loki,
we do
Loki
have the
would be
damage
your
control
own,
stuff with
but that was
Wonder Man still.
but that wasn't Wonder
And
Man that introduced that. That was Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man movie. Damage control was a part of that movie. That's how Vulture got his equipment. Like
but I'm talking
that's
about
been a
from
but that's
the
been a
TV
running
shows now
storyline.
going
That
to
wasn't something though that
forward.
was introduced in a TV show and then brought into the movies. That was something that was from the movies that they took and then made something else. That's what I'm saying. Like
Uh-huh.
so far
Uh-huh.
in all of the TV shows, the only thing you can point to out of all of the TV shows is maybe Loki. Of like, okay, they wrapped up the Kang story in Loki, and now Loki is the god of all stories at the end of time. He's going to play a big role in Doomsday, as we know. So, like, out of
hmm
all of them, that's the only thing I can really say that like all right, you might have to go back and watch Loki season 2 before you watch Doomsday, but otherwise you can skip everything else because none of it has any merit on the MCU or the overall movie universe. I guess that's what I'm getting at.
Well, yeah, I get that, but I wouldn't say like they're not, the contributions from what the TV shows that we've got in this last year are not going to pay off for later on,
They
because
might if they get around to it.
whatever happens is, I think a lot of these TV shows that came out like with Wonder Man and with Daredevil, uh, I think a lot of it will pay off in Spider-Man, and Spider-Man will most likely pay off for the X-Men stuff in the MCU, and whatever maybe what happens in there and
That
Doomsday,
that
and
seems to
definitely
be
Secret Wars.
that seems to be how they've set things up. Obviously, is
So we just gotta.
Spider-Man.
It's a waiting game. Spider-Man is the first like
Spider-Man is the
shebang to really
launching
know
point
what's
for
going on.
X-Men,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna
Mm.
go from there. But to
Yeah.
me, I still don't know about going that route. I'm still wondering how they're gonna pull off the X-Men, how they're gonna set this up. It's a long game, and I don't know how it's gonna go. I really don't. I'm so interested to see what the Doomsday box office is, how it's received, if it all works the way they want it to, and like they can nostalgia bait everybody to come back and see the characters that they've wanted to see now for the past 10 years that have just been missing from all of the movies. Um
Mm-hmm.
that's where they're leaning, and like that's what I'm saying. To me, Doomsday's a marketing ploy. That's all this is. This is them realizing that they didn't have the audience and they didn't have the people that were still invested. So they went back, they brought everybody back that they killed off, except Scarlett Johansson because she sued them. And that's that. And that's what we're doing. We're bringing them all back
And
to cap this all off. And then probably when Secret Wars is over, we have a whole new MCU anyway with all new people playing those characters. Because they're not going to keep paying Downey Jr. to play Iron Man. They're not going to keep paying, Chris Evans at 50 something years old to keep playing Captain America. Like, it's, you know what I mean? You're getting new characters at some point.
Yeah, and we got 3 months left too for Spider-Man, and then right after, around that same time, we're gonna be having San Diego Comic-Con, and then we'll really know like from there what's next to go forward. I'm hoping that point then we can get a freaking X-Men trailer, like an actual, or just at least a cast reveal, because that would be really helpful.
Who's playing like the new? You're talking about?
Yeah, like who's playing the new X-Men characters?
Yeah, that's apparently the rumor is like that's the plan for Hall H this year is they're going to walk out the X-Men cast and announce them. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't like the move of the Thunderbolts director directing it. I don't like the move of the Thunderbolts writers writing the X-Men script. I don't like the idea of them just going with the original 5. Like it's there's no diversity to that team, so you're going to have to add some diversity to it. I don't know what you do in that situation. I don't even know who you cast. Like we were looking at casting rumors a couple weeks ago of like some of the people, and like, all right, Dunk as Beast is a good pick. That Odessa Azion as Rogue is a good pick. I couldn't tell you who to take for like the original 5 though. I couldn't tell you like who to go cast for Angel or who to cast for Bobby or anybody else. So that's what I'm saying. Like they're gonna have to change up that cast because if you're just doing the original 5 white X-Men, I feel like you're gonna get backlash. And like even though like those are the original 5 characters, I still think you're gonna get backlash if you don't race swap Angel or Bobby or somebody. You know what I mean? Or Professor X or Magneto or somebody along. Like something is gonna happen. And like we'll talk about it later when we talk about the Odyssey. There's been all kinds of backlash to all of this types of stuff. So it's just I feel like no matter what you do at this point, you're getting backlash from one side, and the nitpicks are so minuscule that like you just eventually have to tune out some of the criticism and just kind of keep rolling with whatever you're gonna do and whatever you feel is the right thing to do. My faith in them and their execution and knowing that they can execute these things properly is diminished because I've watched them botch it now for what, 10 years that we've been out of Endgame, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Yeah,
know.
but I was the only thing. The casting part will be hard for sure, but I'm not so mad at who do of them having the Thunderbolts director direct it, mainly because Thunderbolts was one of the movies during that time when the MCU was fucking up like all the time, and it actually I really enjoyed that movie. Mainly because of the fact that it talks about like mental health and
PTSD,
overcoming your
yeah.
own internal fears and things of that nature. And I just thought about that and adding mutants and their struggles that they go through every
Yeah,
day.
there's a
That
lot
kind of
there.
makes sense. That yeah, that makes sense. So like for them to be like, okay, he made up this story, he could probably do something crazy with that.
Yeah.
With the X-Men cast. I'm hyped for him to do that because I really liked and I also like visually how he shot that movie too. So, but the casting part, you 100%. It's gonna be very difficult to see what they do going forward. Like the main people, we it's easy to cast, but like I don't know. It would be fun to also get some new people too. Like we spoke about it before on the podcast about
Yeah,
like maybe
I
getting
would,
a
there's
yeah.
a whole list of X-Men characters that I
Mm-hmm.
would love to see brought into
So
live
many,
action
so many.
because there's a lot of current characters that are prominent ones that would be much better fits for a movie universe. Magic being, the main one.
Number one, she's so popular right now,
Psylocke being
and
another one. Like there's Monet
mm-hmm.
being another one. Like there's plenty of other versatile characters that you can bring in and make part of this cast that I feel would be a lot more successful.
Correct.
We might as well talk about it while we're here. They did talk about a Marvel upfront that is coming very soon. We're supposed to get a look at Vision Quest and what that is. I have heard some tidbits from some people that know what Vision Quest is or are friends with like the production staff and
Yeah,
say that like it's
same.
good, just give it a chance and that it'll all pay off. I guess the WandaVision and Agatha stuff, that's I guess going to be the whole point of the show is just kind of to wrap all of that stuff up. Um,
Yeah. So when I was in so same time when I was at that Bob interview with New York during New York Comic Con week. They also brought up the director for the Vision Quest stuff,
mhm.
and what he says from what I remember from that interview was basically like it's gonna be Vision going through like how would Vision work in the world of AI that we know now,
Yeah.
with also adding the other characters that he already has in it, and just
It's
trying to
basically
find
all the
himself and all
other
that.
AI operating systems
Hmm.
in real world. So like Bill Spader is coming back to play Ultron, but he's not actually Ultron. He's going
Yeah,
to be a human version of
and adding
Ultron.
Marvel tidbits to it and
Yeah,
whatnot.
that's another show that like I could have done without. Vision of all people is not a character that I care about. I didn't like WandaVision. Agatha
Oh yeah, and
surprisingly like I actually enjoyed and I would have preferred another season of Agatha versus getting this Vision show. Like
hmm
and the Wanda and Vision stuff already. It's over, it's done. You ruined Wanda's character in Multiverse of Madness. Like you got to own it at this point and just kind of move on.
hmm
Like I understand there's Wanda stands everywhere, but sorry, like
That's the
it
Wanda Army. Don't
it.
mess with the fucking Chaos Magic Army.
I get into it with them all the time on Twitter. Because her book got canceled again. Guess what? I was right.
Yeah, you're right. And they added her to something else too. I think it was Storm or
They
something
stay
like that. Or they're
doing it.
trying to
They
put her
well,
to
yeah,
try to
we'll
do
talk
that.
about that later during comics because
Hmm.
I have that issue pulled here for this. Um, Yeah, so along with that, we're also supposed to get a proper look at X-Men 97 along with a release date. We have seen a lot of the promo material for X-Men 97, and at first I was very hesitant because the first original costumes and suits that they had them in, I was like, what the fuck are these designs? Like, what?
Hmm.
This is not what I was anticipating or what I had heard about. They also had Feral Wolverine, which I fucking hate that whole entire storyline from the 90s.
Hmm.
So I thought we were just going to skip past that and was hoping that we would have. So hoping that it's only like an episode or two out of this season that we're dealing with that type of stuff and we can just move on.
Yeah,
But
please.
the promo art I'm talking about is them in probably one of the best X-Men designs ever and best runs of X-Men ever, Grant Morrison's new X-Men suits. And the cool thing was the team is different than the Grant Morrison original team. So Nightcrawler is in one of these suits, and they really played up his preacher look with the high collar. Polaris is part of the team, and she's in a new design that looks awesome for her. And Bishop is part of the team in a brand new design. So it seems like the way this is going to go is we're going to have our X-Men that are in the past, present, and future, like we left off the past season. We're going to have an X-Factor team with Havoc, Polaris, Wolfsbane, and surprising me, Val Cooper as being part of the team. So I don't know if that's going to eventually lead to the reveal that she is in fact Mystique, because if we go back to like the original comic source, that's when she was part of Freedom Force, when she was pretending to be Val Cooper, and then eventually Mystique was the one behind it all. So that would be a cool like twist to that Val was Mystique the whole entire time. And then X Force is the other team. So we have Cable, Sunspot, Archangel, Psylocke, Roberto, and Jubilee as being part of that team. So they kind of took two members from Uncanny X-Force with Archangel and Psylocke, and then Roberto is an actual member of Cable's original team, but Jubilee is not. So they kind of mix mash some X-Force teams and put them together to be the X-Force team, in '97, which is cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, I am too. I know we saw the teaser. We had the footage of the teaser that was shown at NYCC. I don't know what's changed since then, because it does seem like some stuff has changed. So we'll see how this all plays out. But I'm very, very looking forward to seeing like how they're going to work all these characters in. I'm going to be glad to see Warren and Betsy together in this show. They haven't been together in the comics for a long time, but like if you're a longtime X-Men reader, they were like your couple goals for the longest time. So it's going to be cool to like see that portrayed in X-Men '97. You know what I mean? If she is Betsy, I still don't know if she's Kwannon or Betsy in the '97 universe. They haven't really clarified that. But yeah, I'm excited for '97, and I really just can't wait for that. You went and saw Mortal Kombat 2 very quickly. Just kind of give us your thoughts about the movie and like what you thought.
I loved it. I recommend anybody who hasn't seen it to go out and go see it. It's a fun time. If you love action, if you love gore, and yeah, Goro too. But if you love action and you like gore, it's amazing. It plays off a lot of the storyline from the video games, especially the original and of like the original movie too. So, yeah, it was a good time. The brutalities, the fatalities in this are insane. There's some crazy parts. I will also say though, like, although it's a Mortal Kombat movie, so guys, like, if you're expecting like Oscar award winning performances and things like that, you're in the wrong theater for that right now. If you want to see fight, like they literally throw hands this whole movie from the beginning to the end. So like you will see hands being thrown.
Who was your standout like for this movie? Like who would you say had the best performance out of like the new characters introduced?
So this is gonna be a good segue, but the guy from The Boys, he plays Liu Kang, and
you mean Johnny Cage?
Yeah, not Liu Kang.
Carl Urban.
Johnny Cage. Yeah. He plays Johnny Cage, and he had one funny moment with Baraka, but other than that, I don't know. Like he was like delivering it just enough to be Johnny Cage, but I really wish it could have been like Ryan Gosling or somebody like that to have played the character.
Yeah, really.
But for my favorite, I would say I really enjoyed I really enjoyed Raiden's depiction, even though they
Okay.
didn't give him enough screen time from who they picked for him and how he was
Portrayed in this.
portrayed. Yeah, it was good.
See, the
The
the one
best.
for the one for me that I already know going in how great of an actress she is Adeline Rudolph, at playing Katana. I heard the way
Mhm.
they set up this movie is like her story with her sister is kind of the heart and soul of this second one.
Yeah,
And
but they don't
I,
really show the sister too much.
no, she's not in it very much.
Well, you know what? I was talking about it with a friend, and I couldn't depict if the person that was in the screen was the sister or if that was her mother. So
No, the
it,
the black actress is playing Jade, her sister.
yeah, but that's the thing though. Like,
That's her
that's not
sister.
really that's not really her sister
Well, in the Mortal
in
Kombat
the
universe, it is.
in the movies, I guess. But her real sister is Melina.
Yeah, but Jade is also the other sister. They're all three sisters.
Oh shit! Well, then I'm learning something new today because
Yeah,
I've always thought Marlena was the sister and Jade was always just like her friend that was of
or
that village
servant, or like
and like yeah,
guard or
and her
something like that.
servant, yeah, her
There's
guard, yeah.
something to them that like they're all technically related. They're like sisters. But yeah, to
Because
me,
to be
to
honest,
me, she would be my standout only because
yeah,
I already know
hmm
what type of actress she is. She was
hmm
in Sabrina. Actually, her and the actress that played Jade, that's where they come from. They were in the Netflix Sabrina series, and they were basically on screen together all the time. They were both also in You, I believe. At least one of them was. And then, so they've gotten to be in things together now for a couple
yeah, their
couple of
chemistry
different
in this
things.
movie was really fucking good. I won't
Yeah,
lie,
and
that were like
she's a
they were the main
phenomenal
plot.
actress. Like everything I've
hmm
seen her in, she's great.
hmm
I've kind of been waiting to see her break out a little bit more, so I'm hoping that this movie leads to her getting more roles and like being in more bigger, things going forward.
Yeah, and the actress who plays Jade, she's actually this is how I recognized her. She's playing a main character in a new Naughty Dog game. With people who don't know Naughty Dog, they're like a PlayStation studio, but they're known for like The Last of Us and
Drake's,
Uncharted and stuff like
yeah,
that. And yeah, so she's gonna be the main character in their newest game that they're working on now because they show her in the trailer and
okay.
she got like the buzz cut and all that, and so that's how I knew who she was because I was like, oh wait, that's the girl that's coming out in the game. So like,
She's
I
a
thought it
great
was pretty
actress though
cool.
too. Yeah, she
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool that she's playing in a game and she's playing a character from a game. So like,
yeah.
she's just all over the video game industry right now.
Yeah, no, she's great. I've seen her in Sabrina. I've seen her in You. She was in a detective thing that I watched too, like where she was like part of one of the cases. So she's both of them like phenomenal. I'm gonna get around to going to see it at some point or
Right.
catching it when it's on streaming, but I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out.
Yeah, I
Uh,
would definitely say too, watch. I know it's kind of hard to do it, but I would rewatch or like maybe watch a
I
YouTube video of the
I
first one
I watch the
because
first one all the time. Like I
yeah.
I don't mind the first one isn't as bad to me as it is to a lot of other people.
hmm
Cole is the main thing for me that like I can't stand in the first one. So
Exactly.
from what I've
Same.
heard, they kind of take care of him pretty early in this second one, right? Like and get him out of the
Yeah.
way. So
Uh,
that works for me. Like I'm
hmm
cool with that and getting him
hmm
out of here and just
hmm
kind of getting to the main cast that we
In
know.
a glorious Mortal Kombat fashion too.
Can I ask? Did we get a new Sub Zero in this? Did we get like the furthering of the story, or he was just Noob Sabat in this?
He was just noob.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was
hmm
hoping that maybe
hmm
we'd get the introduction of his brother and like the
hmm
whole other story.
Yeah,
I
about
love the actor that plays him though. He's my guy from Warrior with Andrew Koji, and the both of them kick the shit out of each other all the time. So it's he's another fantastic martial artist.
yeah. The best fight out of this whole thing was a Liu Kang and fucking
His brother
his Liu Kang and why am I saying his name wrong?
Kung Lao.
Kung Lao. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kung Lao. They had an amazing fight, and I found out that the guy who plays Kung Lao actually knows martial arts. So
Yeah, they both do.
knowing that, yeah,
The one
knowing
Liu Kang
that
too.
the way it played on screen was 1-to-1, and it was fire.
Yeah, they
I
did
wish it was
show.
longer.
They showed a majority of that fight on. They like released it on Twitter, so like that
Oh, they
clip
did.
was
Okay,
going
cool.
around. You just didn't see
Hmm.
how it ended, but you basically got the build up all the way through the whole fight, and then yeah, they did eventually like release that clip, so we
Yeah,
did
that was
see.
the best fight. I wish it was longer. That shit could have went another 5 minutes.
But yeah,
But overall,
I'm looking
great movie. I would definitely say check it out.
good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Last week as we did our whole entire wrap up of the season finale of Maul, there was a lot of stuff that came out after the fact because so what they
Hmm.
ended up doing was they did a big premiere of the final 2 episodes out in Los Angeles. Dave Filoni surprised everybody at the screening. Sam Witwer was there. The whole cast was there. So we got a lot of tidbits that kind of came out about the story. One of the things that I thought was funny, so we had talked about Vanessa Marshall and Rook Cast in the last episode, and us being kind of unsure how she died exactly. We just knew that like she was dead for sure. So the showrunners actually asked her how she wanted to go, and she said Vader ripping her lungs out of her throat, and that's how she died on screen. So when she dies, it's
Yeah.
literally Vader taking her lungs and pulling them out of her throat, and that's how she died in the show. So I
Yeah,
thought that was
I said
fucking
last pod that
fucking
like
crazy.
I think he crushed her body because that's what that shit
But
sounded like.
and then that's basically what you came to find out is like because she had the
Mm.
helmet on, and so like he
Hmm.
literally like ripped her lungs out of her insides and pulled them out of her. So fucking wild that we got this in an animated show. Um, Dave
And they
Filoni
admitted
also,
to that.
yeah, well, she said they asked her like how she wanted to go, and so like I'm also hoping that David Collins has some sort of role for next season to still be a part of it. He was the main sound engineer on this whole show. His being an engineer myself, his sound design is out of this world. There's probably second to none to him in what they do, and so I'm really hoping that they keep him on for season 2. Hopefully, maybe they find another character for him to play. The whole original concept was that he was Proxy in Force Unleashed. He voiced the voice for Sam Witwer's droid in Force Unleashed, and that's why they
Mm,
had him do Spybot in this to bring them back together. So it would be fun
damn.
if Proxy showed up in season 2 as like Maul's new
Hmm.
helper droid. That would be fun. Um, Also, the most interesting thing I would say from this whole entire thing was Filoni talking about Vader. Um,
Yeah,
he
that was a perfect description.
he basically the way he emphasized it is at this point in Vader's life, Vader doesn't he doesn't know about Luke. He's not thinking about redemption for himself at this point. He's down the dark side path and he's staying there at this point. So the way he wanted to portray Vader was that Vader at this point is so turmoiled inside about his decision and his betrayal and all the things that he did that there's no redemption for him. There's no forgiveness. So every time he sees a Jedi, every time he sees something that reminds him of Anakin Skywalker, he's literally got to crush it out. And I love that description because that's essentially what we saw in the show. Like when Daki
Hmm.
does get the one slash on him, you see like the switch flip in him where he just starts slamming down on Daki until Daki eventually breaks his guard and then kills Daki. And like I had enough of this shit. Like I let you play
Yeah.
around, but now like you have to go. And so to see that presence of Vader, to see how he was portrayed in this, for me personally was amazing. And just to hear Dave kind of nerd out and talk about all those things is always fun because he is the closest person to George Lucas. Like he knows what George was thinking and the things that George had like drummed up in his head. So to see him taking some of these things and bringing them into these shows, for me, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job. I thought Filoni did a great job describing Vader's true feelings and how much it connects with Anakin. And Yeah, this show continues to just continue to I just hear more and more people talk about the hype and just like started like going back and looking at the Easter eggs from what happened last episode, and yeah, I wake up every day waiting for season 2. Like I can give it to me right now.
And something I don't think we talked about at the in our review is the speculation that Lawson's not actually dead. Did you hear that? So there's a
No.
shot. There's a shot in the show which I didn't pick up until I went back and rewatched it. Lawson takes all those blaster bolts, right? But he watches Maul put Docky in front of Vader. He watches it, and you see him on screen clocking that moment where he literally visualizes and sees it happen. So I obviously have a feeling that that's intentional, to where we're going to see Lawson again in season 2, and Lawson might be the one to tell Devin like what he saw, and that could be our little rift between Maul and Devin at some point.
But explain that part again. What part with Maul?
So where he's getting where Lawson takes the gun and is going out into the woods and taking all those shots and pulls his blaster and gets shot. He watches he watches during the duel with Vader, Maul put Docky in front of Vader. He watches Maul use the Force to pull Docky in front of him, and then watches Maul get away. So the prevailing theory would be of like, oh, well, there's a reason that he watched that happen, because that's going to come back into season 2 and play a role of him watching, Maul basically kill Docky and Devin not be aware of that, because Devin didn't see that happen. She was fighting the Crow while that was all taking place. So she only watched.
But that doesn't take away. But how does that take away from him getting shot by all those people and being dead?
He's not dead. You never actually see him die. All that you do is you see him take the blaster bolt. So Lawson, nobody, no nothing. Like there's in Star Wars, that's the rule. If you don't see a dead body or you see the shot of them dead, you can't count them out. And it's very possible. There's back to tanks. There's all kinds of ways that he can heal himself and get back to his son at some point, because I do have a feeling that Riley's going to be part of all of season 2.
This is very interesting, and I much as I hope it's true. I don't know, but I really want it to be true, because Lawson was one of the most like characters that I never thought I was going to be that much interested into. And again, I'm going to bring back the representation thing. He showed off the representation in such a brilliant way. Same way like the actor from Andor, showing off his accent and embracing that. And like, I love to see that in Star Wars, because one, we don't really ever see it. So like to see it now coming out in this new age of Star Wars,
we never really brilliant and great. Had Latinos in Star Wars before. Even in like the original trilogy,
because like all we know is fucking Mace Windu as the one black guy in all of Star Wars. Like,
well, him and Lando,
and Lando. So like, we need more representation if this is like a world where we have aliens and shit. Like, come on,
So there was no word on season 2. They didn't even talk about whether it's in production currently. I have a feeling Star Wars Celebration is next spring. I have a feeling that's going to be the drop for Star Wars Celebration, is that they're going to be like, hey, Maul season 2 is coming blank. And that's where we'll get the news. Because whenever Celebration rolls around, they usually save all of their cards for Celebration. Like, I know there's another Tales series that's in development that's coming. I don't know when that's going to come out, if that's going to, again, be something saved for next year. But Ahsoka season 2 is on the way. We have Starfighter. So it's they have a plethora of stuff to kind of trickle out and get us to there.
I did see them trying to ask him when Ahsoka should be coming out. He says he has a date, but he's not ready to play it because right now it's about Maul. But I know that date's coming out any minute now.
My assumption would be end of summertime. I probably August would be the most likely time for that. And from what I've heard, supposedly, rumor-wise, is that there were 2 scenes shot during season 2 of Ahsoka that are going to be in the Mandalorian movie. That there's a flashback with Anakin and a young Ahsoka with Rada the Hutt from the original Clone Wars movie that they shot in live action, and then that there's a Thrawn scene that they shot in live action on the Ahsoka set. That's going to be like edited in as the cutscene or the final scene for Mandalorian. They also did just reveal today like a interesting clip from
Yeah.
Mandalorian where it's
Mm-hmm.
Din in front of the twins, and the twins ask for his helmet, and then basically like mock him by taking the helmet and saying like, oh, we could sell this on the black market for a pretty price, but it means even more that like your enemy saw your face. And Din's like, not if you're all dead, like, and just keeps it mad cool. So like, I am interested. We're only like less than 2 weeks away from this movie coming out.
Yeah, next week, man.
So
Next week this time, I think.
the more and more that comes out about it, I did get to watch the first 20 minutes. Somebody posted it online, and I was able to watch it. It was cool. So I'm interested to see the movie. I really can't wait. I'm hoping that it's good, and yeah, I can't believe that we're like almost here for it though. Like it came up very quick.
I know. We've been covering this since like February, so like to know like we're finally here is great.
This week, The Boys episode was fucking phenomenal.
Talk about it.
Basically, Jensen Ackles just acting his fucking ass off in this show. Like, him as Soldier Boy is phenomenal, and every week we get more and more of him in like the show, and it just makes me so hyped for this Vault Rising show that we're gonna get. That's his own spinoff.
Yeah,
they're kind of setting the plot threads that Stormfront is Homelander's mom. We found out that Soldier Boy is Homelander's dad. He basically gives Homelander the V1 at the end of this episode, and we watch Homelander inject himself and kind of level up to God level at that point. So now Soldier Boy is pretty much, now Homelander is pretty much unstoppable. With Soldier Boy seemingly being the only one that could burn the V out of his system. So I'm sure that's all going to kind of play into the finale and how things go. But if anyone had any doubts about Jensen Ackles playing Batman, go fucking watch this show and tell me he wouldn't be a perfect Batman. Like, every time he's on screen, he's stealing the show. He's just killing it with his acting. So for me, this just kind of furthers the point of like he should be the DCU Batman going forward with David Cornsweet as Superman. That's just my opinion.
Giving me a reason to finally get on my shit.
Speaking of DC Studios, we have an announcement that this Bane and Deathstroke movie that we've originally heard about since like the DCU started is actually coming to fruition. It's going into early production currently. They're going to start casting for Bane and Deathstroke. My guess is Alan Richardson's going to be one of these two. I could very easily see a scenario where he's Bane, and I could very easily see a scenario where he's Deathstroke. Otherwise, though, I don't know what this serves doing this movie again before a Batman movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're doing Clayface, and then we're going to do a Bane.
They don't know where this... Do we have a timeline of where this will place in?
No. They're just doing it to do it.
So this could very well take place after Brave and the Bold. So if that's the case, then, I mean, cool. But, like, I was thinking more along the lines of, like, we don't know what DCU is about to look like in the next year or two.
Yeah, we don't.
The fact that they announced something new like that is just like, what?
And it's still not
put
Batman.
me in limbo. I'm like, what the fuck is really going on? Like, are you guys
Batman.
done or not?
Yeah. That's my whole thing, though, is like, why are we doing all these spinoffs when we still don't have a Batman? We still don't have him. And it doesn't sound like he's going to be in Man of Tomorrow. He did add some new people to Man of Tomorrow. Matthew Lillard, who we spoke about earlier. And the rumor is that he's going to play Plastic Man.
Plastic Man. And I very well could see that.
Oh yeah, especially with him playing Shaggy all those years ago, like for Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, they said back in the day he was supposed to. They said back in the day they spoke about that and him being Plastic Man, and he said he was cool with it. So
he looks like the character. Like, I feel like that's a perfect character for him to portray, especially if they're going to do him like already kind of being one of the JLA members originally, because we did see in the Hall of Justice that there was a JLA previously. So him being one of the JLA members like makes total sense, and just kind of fitting him into the new universe that way. They did also add about 3 or 4 other characters to the Man of Tomorrow cast. I'm just not familiar with the actors, and there was no specifications of like who they were playing or what they were going to be doing. Just that they were kind of added on to the cast during and production is going on now. Like they are shooting the movie and actively still adding people to the movie. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I for me, this Deathstroke and Bane thing, I could go without it. I don't necessarily need it, especially from like the director that I heard is rumored to be attached to it is more of like a comedy director. I don't want to see Bane and Deathstroke in like a comedy angle. That doesn't.
And a buddy type of show, like or movie.
Yeah, or like a buddy cop with two supervillains. Like I'm good, man. We can skip that one.
Well,
Another.
I do like it only because of the characters, and the characters I really like a lot. So like if they stick to what the characters are known to be like, and maybe add a twist to it, it has potential. So
if Batman's in it,
we need that Batman before that. Like you're right.
I need Batman introduced here at some point. Like we can't keep doing this with no Batman, and we're just gonna fucking dance around it forever. Because, like we keep saying, who the fuck knows after Man of Tomorrow if there's any more DCU? Like James Gunn could be very well be out if this Paramount merger goes through, and that could be that. That could be the end of it all. So you got to get the ball rolling. I think that's why some of these projects are starting to be fast tracked. We're seeing that the Wonder Woman spinoff is being fast tracked now, and all of these other things are being introduced. So I think he's trying to just get things off the ground before Paramount comes in and fucking demolishes what he's doing.
Right.
Another thing that's getting off the ground, which was kind of shocking to me, is they're going to do a Django Unchained Zorro crossover movie. So Jamie Foxx is coming back to play Django, but we don't know who's going to play Zorro. So this is all based off a comic book that they actually did, where it's Anthony Hopkins' Zorro character, much younger with Django. So obviously they're not going to be able to get Anthony Hopkins back to play Zorro at this point. So I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know who the audience is for this movie. Maybe I guess the comic was great. I don't even
the fans of Django and people who like Zorro. I mean,
well, I don't even like the original Django movie. Like I'm not a Quentin Tarantino guy, so like for me, whatever he does, I don't really give a shit. He's also kind of a fucking asshole in real life, so like I just kind of after he said what he said about Bruce Lee, like you can go fuck yourself, man. But all of that shit, like I don't give a shit about anything he makes. He's a weird fucking guy. And to me, he's not attached to this film in any sense, but it is essentially like he had to give his blessing, I guess, for them to move forward, in doing it. So I don't know again who the audience is for this movie or if it's going to do any good, but whatever. Ryan Coogler's X-Files series announced that they added Amy Madigan and Steve Buscemi to the cast. They weren't given any kind of roles as to who they're going to be, but those are two blockbuster actors and actresses to bring on into this X-Files series. He was already getting backlash for like who he's casting as Mulder and Scully or whoever's going to be the main agents. We still don't know if like this is going to be a full reboot or if Agent Mulder and Scully are going to appear in this show. Like it's still kind of up in the air as to like if this is a total whole new direction for the show or if this is just kind of a continuation of the original show. But with Ryan Coogler at the helm and him adding these casts, you know who actually got cast as one of the agents? The girl from Rooster, the one who steps into the Dean's role, the black chick.
The black chick? Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, she's actually playing the main female agent for I don't know if she's going to be.
I could see this. Yeah.
So
that's fun. I like that. Yeah.
Her and Patish Lighter or Lamplighter or something along those lines.
Not necessarily that she will play the same role as Rooster, but I mean she's a good actor. So so she would be great.
So she's going to be playing the female agent role, and then like I said, I'm not sure if she's going to be. If they're going to be like the new Mulder and Scully, or if they're just going to be a continuation of it. But another thing from Marvel is we got this Midnight Universe teaser announced. So before we had gone into the show, the only thing that had been kind of leaked was the original promo art, and it said the light has its turn, had its turn. So from what this seems like, it's going to be their replacement for the Ultimate Universe that's
Yeah.
darker, and it's set in vampires. Like it looks like the
Well,
crossover that they did last year that we already
mm-hmm.
got, and now they're
Mm-hmm.
just gonna do this
Mm-hmm.
in their own universe. So I
Mm-hmm.
I I'm not sold on this, and I'm not somebody who's like jumping in on this. The thing that got my attention out of this announcement, and I have it
And plenty
here,
of other people.
um, X-Men is going to be written by Jonathan Hickman again for this series. Those of you guys that don't know, Jonathan Hickman and his X-Men era of Krakoa is my favorite X-Men era. Why they ended it before he got to tell his story that he wanted to is up to editorial. Hopefully they don't step on his toes during this and he can do what the fuck he wants during this. I'm hoping that he brings back Krakoa and just says fuck it because it's a whole different continuality so Krakoa can still exist and we can kind of still get some stories told around that. That would be fun for me. My guy Benjamin Person, the real life Wolverine, is going to be writing Fantastic Four. And Philip Kennedy Johnson is going to be writing Spider-Man. So those were the 3 titles that were announced. Again, I have no idea other than the art solicitation that was shown off of Storm as a vampire and Nightcrawler, with his sword kind of at her back. So
yeah,
that's just kind of the anticipation of like this is going to be some sort of vampire universe. I don't know anything more outside of that.
yeah. I think what really caught a lot of people's eyes is Jonathan Hickman on it, and it looks like a new take on their version of what absolute fucking Marvel world would look like.
It seems like
And
they're leaning heavy into that supernatural
mhm.
spooky shit, and instead of like just doing what DC's doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm excited for it. I know a lot of people today were asking me about what this was and things of that nature, and it's all very new to everything. This has just been announced, like like I think I've seen a post about it 2 weeks ago, and then today it blew up again because the Jonathan Hickman thing. So like it's all very new. What you see is what I know. So I don't know anything more deeper than what that is. But yeah, I'm excited for it. It looks interesting. We talk about what's going on with the X-Men so much on this show, and I'm thinking the gods of Marvel are like starting to listen to us a little bit. So
They're
hopefully
not if
now
you're
we got
reading.
Jonathan.
They're not if you're reading the main X-Men books. They're
Well,
not.
currently, but going forward in the future, we we can have this be like a Days of Future Past type of scenario and have a
I
better
just I just don't
situation.
know. I just don't know if this is the thing to get them. Like I don't know if this is a vampire universe is the thing that's going to get people to go read this. Like, especially because like you would think with a vampire universe, you'd be leading with a Blade book, or you'd be having Morbius or some of the other creatures and monsters involved in it, and you're
Yeah, but
not.
if the writing's
You're
good,
going with.
we're good.
Yeah, that's not always necessarily the case. The concept has to be good for people to be interested in the writing. And like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of the people that always say at the comic book shop, a writer gets me onto a book 9 times out of 10, but this concept
Right.
also has to be good. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if this is not thought out and not executed well, and this is just a cash grab at them trying to replace the Ultimate Universe and lean more into like the supernatural sci-fi stuff that the Absolute's doing with DC, then
Mm-hmm.
we see it for what it is. But
Mm-hmm.
I am very happy that we get Jonathan Hickman on X-Men in any shape,
Right.
form, or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I expect to see a lot of Danny Moonstar in that book. I expect to see a lot of magic. Like, he has his characters that he likes in the X-Men universe, and I'm hoping that we get to see more of them, going forward with that. It should be fun. I will be in on the X-Men book. I can't guarantee that I'll pick up the other stuff, but the X-Men book with Hickman, I'm definitely gonna.
Yeah, I was hesitant about the Spider-Man one. The X-Men one is definitely a definite for me too, and I want to get into Fantastic Four as well, but the X-Men is like without a doubt.
Yeah, I haven't been able to I've tried getting into the last couple Fantastic Four runs, and every time I pick up a couple issues and I drop it again because I think it's just them at this point. Like I was
It's
Hick,
dumb. It's always been dumb. Yeah.
well, but see, so Hickman's Fantastic Four run made it difficult for me to enjoy other Fantastic Four runs, because Hickman's run had a beginning, middle, and an end. It ended the Fantastic Four when it was all said and done. Like, you have a conclusion of Franklin Richards and Galactus watching the whole universe end, and them being the ones to start a new universe together. Like, that Galactus is Franklin's Herald, and that's the crazy part. Is like, it's not the other way around. So like, Hickman, whenever I tell people about Fantastic Four, I say just go get the Hickman Omnibus and read it, and that's all you need for Fantastic Four. Like, you never need to pick up another Fantastic Four book when that's all said and done. So for me, like, the mainline Fantastic Four, I know Ryan North had a fantastic run. I forget who the current writer is on it now, that like a lot of people seem to be liking it, but every time I try to pick up a couple issues of it, I'm just like, I'm out immediately. It doesn't hold me.
If you're not so much of the sci-fi type of person and into, like, you know, the science of things and all
but
that,
I am. It's just the storylines, and like, I think
it's too extraterrestrial. Like, it goes too crazy.
They're really trying to match them with like their MCU counterparts, and I don't like the MCU Fantastic Four. Like, I didn't like that movie, so
yeah,
I don't want to see those depictions like in the comics. I'd rather get like the characters that we know, and it seems like you know, the synergy of the corporate is kind of ruining my enjoyment for them. I do love Philip Kennedy Johnson as a writer. So I'm sure he's going to do a fantastic job with Spider-Man. Benjamin Percy, again, like, fantastic writer. A lot of the stuff I read from him is a lot of graphic violence stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see him doing Fantastic Four. Right. It's very possible, like, this could jump off and this could really garner a lot of interest. Like I said, the bread and butter for me is Hickman on X-Men and just getting him on an X-Men book. I don't even care that it's going to be a vampire universe. I'm still just going to pick it up because it's Hickman writing X-Men again.
Yeah, facts. 1000%. I agree with you there, buddy.
And last but not least for this week, the great Jack Kirby got a street named after him in New York City on the intersection. Yeah, on the intersection of Essex and Delancey. It's now called Jack Kirby Way, and they also have a Yancey Street sign that they attach to it as well. So it's Jack Kirby Way / Yancey Street, which I thought was perfect. Like, how cool is that in New York City to have a Jack Kirby Way now?
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I thought this was already up, but I guess it went up today.
I think the Yancey Street sign was there now for a while, but then they coupled it with the Jack Kirby Way on top of it.
Okay, so maybe that's what it was. Because when the movie came out, I seen people taking pictures by that sign, so I thought that was it.
I think the Yancey Street sign was done as promo for Fantastic Four, and then they added the Jack Kirby after the fact. Because the ceremony was this past weekend. They had like a little thing where his family was there and his kids or grandkids got to unveil like the street sign. So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, always great to honor the legends that did so much for comics and for this industry.
Facts.
And there's nobody better than Jack Kirby. Nobody.
That's a fact.
Stanley only did so much. Jack Kirby was the meat and potatoes of it all. Like, he was the backbone of Marvel coming out and a lot of the characters that we know and love. So it's cool to see, you know, him getting bestowed that honor. What did you have this week for Comics of the Week?
So I don't have it with me yet. I wasn't able to. It was a busy weekend. Didn't get to the comic shop, but I am getting when I do get, I will be picking up definitely the second issue for Daredevil #2, and I think that was the only thing on my list.
Hi, Stephanie Phillips.
Yeah, Stephanie Phillips. Yeah.
Hi, if you're watching. That was it though, just Daredevil?
Yeah, man, that's all I know right now. This is how I go. This is how I do my comic shopping. I know what I'm going in for, and then when I get there, I see whatever I want to pick up from there. But for sure, in my head, I know I'm getting that.
So, big issue that came out this week was the Storm issue. Awa Adeli has been doing a fantastic job with this Storm series. They really have taken her out of just being an X-Men character and making her a full embodiment of the Marvel Universe. Like, she is Queen Omega. She is embodied with magic now and has eternity and all of these things going on. But in this issue, you get the introduction of her daughter. And her daughter is basically, there's no father to it. It's Wanda Maximoff is the father of the child, or the creator of the child in a way. So we had seen this being teased a couple issues back, and finally got the payoff for it. And yeah, so the Sorceress Supreme helped Storm basically bring her daughter into reality. That's basically how that all played out.
I thought you were saying that
No.
is her daughter.
No,
I was about to say, no way they're doing that.
No, so Wanda helps Storm basically conceive the daughter out of this vision that Storm had. So Storm had seen her daughter, I believe it was during the X-Men crossover at the beginning of this new era, and we finally got the payoff for it with this. So now Storm's daughter is introduced, and she's going to be part of the Marvel Universe going forward. The book of the week, though, for me, really was fantastic. It was Batman #9, and this is the issue that we had kind of been building up to set up the Barbara Gordon series that's coming.
Yeah.
So Barbara Gordon, spoiler alert, speaking of spoiler, is in this, Stephanie Brown, which was great to see her and Duke. But Barbara Gordon ends up being the one who gets taken down in this book, and basically gets booked by Vandal Savage. And this is going to set up the Barbara Gordon breakout series that's coming, with her being in prison. I forget who's the one writing the Barbara Gordon series. I have it right here. Let's see. Eisner Award-winning writer Mariko Tamaki. I have never read anything that they've done. The artwork for this looks phenomenal for the Gordon, the breakout series. We do get a little teaser of like the storyline and how the art is going to look in the book, and it does look pretty solid.
Right.
I had told you this would have been my preference for how we got Jason Todd back into the Bat Family things, is like having him put together the team to go break out Barbara. Like, that's a perfect storyline for him to go do, and instead of the Teen Titans stuff. But we're going to see how this all plays out. We're going to see how this Barbara Gordon mini or solo plays out. And I thought it was basic. The funny part was Damian and Bruce basically essentially blow up Wayne Manor. So Vandal Savage has been living in Wayne Manor now for the better part of this series, and most of the last series. He kind of seized all the Wayne assets and has been living in Wayne Manor. And the book ends with, before Barbara gets picked up, Damian and Bruce blow the whole entire manor up. So they're starting completely from scratch, ground up. It's going to be interesting to see like where this book continues to go, but I've really enjoyed this series. Matt Fraction is doing an incredible job, and the artwork is just phenomenal. So definitely recommend picking it up. Yeah, I don't know if he did this issue. I think it was a filling artist. Sook was the artist, I believe, on this one.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, but it was still fantastic. So I loved it.
So that would be the other one that's probably waiting for me in my drawer right now, because I do have that on hold. So yeah, I'll definitely get that in Daredevil and whatever else I see going forward. But the Storm one sounds interesting. Does that connect with the new X-Men that's going on right now?
No, Storm's not an X-Men character currently. She's an Avenger.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying about them taking her out of the X-Men role. She's been a mainstay in the main Avengers book, and then has her own solo that's going on. There is only one more issue of this solo before it wraps up. So this was supposed to be an ongoing series, and then they changed their mind and made it a limited series to 5 issues. So next issue is the last issue of this. I don't know what's going to happen going forward with Storm after that point, or like where she's going to be involved in, but they've set her up now as basically the replacement for Captain Marvel in like the hierarchy. Like, I would say she's at that level now where like she is the female face of the Avengers when you look at this new Avengers lineup.
And so my other question was, is there a date when we're supposed to get that breakout Barbara Gordon series?
I believe it starts next month, or
Oh,
it could
nice.
actually even start at the end of this month because they gave us the preview, so it might actually be like next week. It might start. I know this and New Titans are the two books that are supposed to be starting up May. So at the end of this month, this will be coming out
Okay.
sometime. More than likely, probably next week. Like I said, now that this
Dope.
issue's out,
Hmm.
more than likely next week. So,
Yeah. Dope.
do you have anything that you've been watching?
So this week, totally went off rails of what I do my normal stuff, but I actually been watching the Kevin Hart Funny as Fuck series. It's like basically like he's trying to find a new group of comedians, and he's going throughout like New York, LA, and all these different places, and you're fighting for a spot to move on to the next round, to then eventually you will get your own Netflix special.
Okay.
And it's been pretty funny because, for me, I don't find Kevin Hart to be as funny as he used to be.
Yeah.
And he says that a lot in the show of like how his time is up. He's already fucking rich and shit. Like he's trying to find the next star to blow up or
He's
whatever.
got a lot of stuff
So to
coming with
hear,
Netflix too.
yeah, so I also watched the roast yesterday too, and we'll
Yeah.
talk about that in a second. So he tells that to everybody, and it's been interesting to see some of these comedians from different places, tell their jokes, and I'm getting put on to new comedians at the same time. So it's a dope show. I recommend it. And then
Yeah,
obviously, like I said, what were we gonna say?
they're filming like a bunch of Netflix's a joke stuff currently. So like I
Mm-hmm.
think all this week there's like all kinds of stuff going on in LA where like they're just filming special after special after special, and like Kevin Hart's been a big part of like all of it. So
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Well, yeah. So then I seen the freaking roast yesterday, and I caught it right when Cat Williams was leaving, so I missed that whole freaking section. So then I ended up having to. I watched it on X, and I seen some clips or whatever.
Okay.
But right after that, we got the
I didn't watch
reveal
it
of
yet.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, so
No.
I'm not even gonna spoil what happens.
No, I mean
But
you can. I don't care. I don't even know if I'm going to watch it. I'm not a Kevin Hart fan,
oh, okay.
so for me it's just
Well,
if Nikki Glazer's there,
basically,
I'll watch it. But yeah,
yeah. But basically, what I was to say was, one of the surprise guests that came out was The Rock, and
okay,
he indulged in the
makes
roasting
sense.
as well. So
That's
yeah,
good.
so it
Yeah,
was
because they're coming back to do
cool to see him.
Jumanji 4 or
Yeah,
3,
and they
whatever,
did
at the
say
end of the year.
they said some jokes about that too.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it was fun.
I watched I
some-
watched Send Help yesterday. The Rachel
oh, I did
McAdams
see that
movie,
came out.
the
Yeah,
Sam Raimi.
that's been on my to-do list.
It was okay.
How'd you like it? Mhm.
I just threw it on and kind of had it on. I rated it like 1.5 on Letterbox. For me it was just kind of it was okay. Like it wasn't anything special.
But it's Sam Ramsey, so like he does too
Sam
much
Raimi.
sometimes. I feel like Sam
Yeah.
Raimi, yeah.
And I really like that Dylan kid from Maze Runner and all those movies. He was originally like up for Spider-Man, but it was between him and Tom Holland, and Tom Holland ended up getting it over him. But every time I see him, I always like think of him for superhero roles. I'm like, who else could this kid play? Because like he is a good actor.
Yeah.
Rachel McAdams is great in the movie. She kind of plays like a nerdy secretary that like knows all these survival things and kind of knows all these things because she's been trying to get on Survivor and like just gets mistreated, and then the plane crashes on this desert island and it's just the two of them that survive. So all this stuff ensues and plays out, and it was a fun little back and forth. But ultimately, you kind of knew like where the movie was going when it was all said and done. So it was cool. Yeah, that's the only thing I've pretty much checked out this week. I still have like other books from this past week that I still have to read. I've just been slacking. I've had so much going on this week that I just have not gotten a chance. So,
well, that's how I was this week, and I didn't even get to time to go to the store. But
yeah.
This is okay because I do have a backlog still, like, so it's all good.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty good with like keeping up on them week to week, but this week I still have free comic book free comic book day stuff that I didn't get to read, and then I have like a stack of stuff that I still have to get to. But Batman and Storm were my two that I did get to read from this week.
Dope. Yeah,
but
good stuff.
That'll do it for another episode of TalkNSupes. If you made it this far, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, give us a follow, give us a review on Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening. Like I said at the beginning of the show, it always helps. It always helps bring in new people. We've been watching the Spotify and Apple Music essentially like really take off with like new subscribers every week. YouTube, we got to kind of get the traffic there. But hopefully, as the podcast continues to grow, the YouTube channel will continue to grow as well. But all thanks to the help of all of you. So thank you very much. And please continue to spread the word about the show.
Yes, please do, guys. It's this week. Well, not even this week. The months going forward are going to be jam-packed with news. So if you want to stay up to date on all the things that we do, TalkNSupes and all that good stuff, you lock in with us right now and just hit that subscribe button and you get stay up to date with all of it.
Yeah, we got tons of movies coming out. We didn't, real quick before we do like wrap up the episode, we do have like the Odyssey trailer. Did you get a chance to watch that or no?
Yeah, so when I went to Mortal Kombat, I'd seen it and I was like, these features, these look new. So it was dope.
A lot of people, it got a lot of flack and a lot of backlash from people about the fact that they're using English accents, the fact that there's people speaking American, English. There's the fact that the Cyclops looks different. The fact that what's her name? The actress from Black Panther that plays the Dora Milaje, she is Helen of Troy, and so that caused a stir for people. So there's a lot of like different things in this movie, and like I don't know what you're expecting out of like Christopher Nolan assembled an all-star cast. He's gonna kill this movie.
The actors in this are amazing. So why does that stuff even matter?
Just because it's diverse and just because he changed some stuff around doesn't mean that it's not gonna deliver. Because that trailer looks fucking amazing. So yeah, I just wanted to touch up on that real quick. I had planned to talk about it as like one of the topics, but we didn't get a chance to get to it today. So
yeah, so good. But yeah, that'll do it for real this time.
Yeah, we're wrapping up now. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.